It's me again, Robert Hale, 74 years old, sitting in the same chair I sit in every morning, coffee going cold on the side table, window light coming in gray and slow. My doctor told me 6 months ago that my heart is doing things hearts shouldn't do. And sitting in that parking lot afterward, alone, keys in my hand, I understood that the clock I'd been ignoring my whole life was no longer something I could ignore. Later is here now. I gave 41 years to a company called Meridian Industrial Supply. We made parts, nothing glamorous, but I was good at it, and for a very long time being good at it felt like enough. By 50, I was traveling over 200 days a year, hotels that looked identical, conference rooms with the same fake ficus in every corner, and I loved it. That's the part I'm not proud of and can't take back. My wife Carol used to say I came alive in a room full of people who needed something from me. She wasn't wrong. We had 2 kids, Daniel, Miriam, good people now, both of them. But when they were young, I was there the way a photograph is there, present on the wall, not quite in the room. I remember Daniel's 12th birthday. I flew in from Denver just for it, walked through the door with a big box under my arm. He looked up from the couch and said, "Oh, you made it," not surprised, not relieved, just noting it. He was 12 years old and had already learned not to expect me. There was a night in 1998 when Carol came and sat across from me at the kitchen table after the kids were in bed. I had my laptop open, quarterly numbers. She said, "Robert, I need to talk to you about something." I said, "Sure, just give me 2 minutes." 2 minutes became an hour. When I finally looked up, she was gone. The chair was empty, the kitchen light was still on. I closed the laptop and went to bed. I told myself we'd talk in the morning. We didn't. There are conversations that have expiration dates, not because the other person stops wanting to have them, but because something closes inside a relationship when a conversation that needs to happen keeps not happening. A door, closing softly, not slamming, just a quiet click. And if you're not paying attention, and God knows I wasn't, you don't notice it until years later when you walk up to that door and find it locked. Carol and I separated in 2007. She moved to Tucson. I stayed in the house. The house was very quiet, and for the first time in my life I didn't know what to do with quiet, so I worked. That same year, Meridian gave me a crystal plaque, Excellence in Leadership. I smiled for the photograph. Someone handed me champagne. And somewhere across the country, Carol was unpacking boxes in her sister's guest room. I retired in 2016. 1 week you're Robert Hale, Regional Vice President of Operations. The next you're just Robert. And Robert, as it turned out, was someone I didn't know very well at all. In 2018, I went to Tucson to see Carol. She had made a life there, a garden, friends, a routine that fit her. She looked well. We had dinner at her kitchen table. She made the same roast chicken she used to make when the kids were small. The smell of it hit me somewhere old and deep. Late in the evening I said, "Carol, that night in the kitchen, 1998, what were you going to say?" She looked at me for a long moment. Then she said, "I don't remember, Robert." I believe her. Whatever she had needed to say that night, it had been left so many times for so long that even the memory of it had dissolved. A woman sitting across from a man she still believed in, saying, "I need to talk to you." And the man saying, "Just give me 2 minutes." 2 minutes, 40 years. Miriam calls every Sunday now. We talk for a long time. A father and daughter who lived mostly parallel lives for 30 years, both surprised to find how much we genuinely like each other. Those calls are the best part of my week. It took a pandemic and a doctor's careful language about my heart for me to become still enough to receive it. That's a long time to wait to be still. Daniel came out alone last fall. We walked on the beach for most of the day. At one point he said, "Dad, when I was a kid I thought you just didn't care." I said, "I know," he said, I know you did care, I just couldn't feel it then. We kept walking. The ocean was gray and cold. Side by side, hands in our pockets. That was enough, more than enough. I don't know how much time I have left. What I know is that the mornings feel different now, slower, more honest. I think about Carol's roast chicken. I think about Daniel at 12 saying, "Oh, you made it." I think about a kitchen table in 1998 and a chair that went empty while I looked at numbers I cannot remember today. I wanted someone to know that Robert Hale sat in that kitchen with his laptop open and his wife across from him, and he didn't look up. And that the man who didn't look up has been sitting with that ever since. If something in here stayed with you, you don't have to say so. Just sit with it for a little while if you can. That's all. That's all I've got.